He's like, yeah, it stars this guy named Vin Diesel. I thought he was making that name up. I was like, there's no way that guy's name is Vin Diesel unless he's a transformer.
Welcome to Tairimo Boys Podcast. I'm your host, Cody. With me in second chair is the boy we're going to throw on a desert planet during a solar eclipse. It's Jeremy.
Yeah, just throw me on the planet.
What can go wrong? With me in third chair is the boy who would have pulled the lever. It's Ryan.
Going on?
Murderer.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I don't know about you, but I got the bad taste of Snow White and the Seven Samurai in my mouth, so I had to wash it out with some Pitch Black, the very first Riddick movie.
What a refresher.
That taste is definitely out of my mouth. So, Pitch Black, it came out in 2000, hour and 52 minutes long. It kind of did well at the box office. The budget on it was like $25 million, and it made $53.2 million, but studios tend to want more of that. But, nevertheless, we got more Riddick movies after this, and apparently they're making like a fourth Riddick movie.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
So,
Well, I'm excited for it.
yep, might come out in the next few years. So, this movie, for anyone unaware, stars Vin Diesel and his original character, Do Not Steal, Riddick. But basically, a passenger ship carrying Riddick as a prisoner crashes on a desert planet, and they find the local wildlife on the planet and have to survive a solar eclipse. So, Jeremy, what were your first thoughts on this movie?
I love the Riddick movies. These are the movies that, like, Vin Diesel was meant to play.
Doesn't he do the like Fast and Furious movies?
He does, and that's a funny thing. Like, I can imagine, like, him flying his car to, like, take down some of the enemies today. It being like, he's like, it's all about family.
Yeah, I think he's kind of better for like sci-fi now that I think about it.
He is. He just fits the part better.
Ryan, your first thoughts?
I enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would. Good characters, good setting, all that good stuff.
No, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we got a good one.
Here's my first thoughts and the thing about the movie. I really enjoyed it. It's really good at building suspense. It like hits all the beats you want to see in like one of these sci-fi monster movies. I guess that's what you would consider it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I know reviewers did not like the movie when it came out. They thought it was like a little too cliche.
A lot of space Arabs and a space Christian.
Well, it wasn't. It was
Well,
space Muslims. I just think it comes down to it hit all the beats you'd expect in the exact order.
no, this movie was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I've never seen this movie before. I've seen Riddick
Yeah.
before I've seen this movie.
Yeah. I have never seen this movie before. Me and Jeremy, back when the third Riddick movie came out in theaters, we went and saw that together.
Yep.
I think
we did.
that was after Ryan moved away. I can't remember if that was the day we went to that theme park and got motion sick, or if that was the day my AC went out in my car. I do remember sitting in the car watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. 'Cause we had to wait like a really long time for the movie to start.
We did.
I don't remember a damn thing about that movie. I remember enjoying it, though.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it like thoroughly. Like it was a really, really good movie in my opinion for what I remember. And so that's why I was like, shit, why have I never seen this movie before?
Ryan, have you seen any of the other Riddick movies?
Nope. I remember when this movie came out, and I was working for my dad on a site, and one of his employees there was talking about the new Pitch Black movie. He's like, yeah, it stars this guy named Vin Diesel. I thought he was making that name up. I was like, there's no way that guy's name is Vin Diesel unless he's a transformer.
You know, Ryan, I'm thinking about that time me, you, and your dad went and watched that volcano movie when I was like really little.
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones? No, the one with Pierce Brosnan?
I don't remember. I can't tell you a damn thing about that movie. Kind of like the third Riddick movie. I remember enjoying it though.
I just remember loving the movie.
I remember your dad buying me like a huge jar of like animal crackers too.
And then weren't they fighting giant scorpions or some shit like that in that last movie? I can't remember.
I think it was like these dogs.
It's like, why are they always fighting these weird animals?
Because it's supposed to be a survival movie, Jeremy.
Well, how many times does he have to survive?
Well, Riddick's like a wanted criminal.
Apparently. That's what they establish.
Speaking of that, are you boys in any way familiar with Riddick's backstory?
No, other from what this movie has to say.
Not a clue.
So what I read was Riddick was... I wish I remember this. I wrote down bits and pieces, but Riddick was originally wanted because he ended up getting involved in like some workers' rights stuff. I think it was like a mining colony or something. Have you boys ever heard of the video game The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay?
Yes.
Negative.
Ryan, have you ever played the game?
No.
So apparently it was a really, 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 really good game.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Like I've seen like recent reviews of it, people saying it was really good for its time, and I remember back when it came out, I never played it myself, but I remember being like in a lock-in, and a bunch of the guys were talking about like how they were playing it. It was like really awesome. But that is actually a prequel to this movie. It explains what happened.
Is it better than Mass Effect 3?
Anything's better than Mass Effect 3, Ryan.
I think we can all agree on that.
The thing about Riddick is they can never like cement his backstory. They're always constantly retconning it. Like he mentions in this movie, he's like, "Oh, I got my eyes in Butcher Bay," and which is like a space prison. And I think it's like by the third movie, they're like, "Oh, he was born with the eyes." Like, so which one is it?
Yeah, that's what I remember too. He was born with it.
Yeah, they're even pushing that with the fourth movie. If those trailers I watched were real, like all his people have those kind of eyes. It's not so much of a unreliable narrator type thing. I think it's just they can't keep their lore straight.
No, they can't.
Vin Diesel keeps changing his original character, Do Not Steal. But if you can find a copy of Butcher Bay, it's recommended to play it. There's also another video game, Escape from Dark Athena. I think that's what it's called. And it's
I think I've heard of it.
people say it's not as good as Butcher Bay. He basically gets on a ship where the people in charge of it, they're going around killing like criminals and stuff and turning them into like cybernetic soldiers that they can upload into. Needless to say, the Riddick franchise is pretty more expensive than you think it is.
Yeah, I definitely I really enjoy the idea of Riddick.
Yeah, got a badass in space.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the good old days. We had Indiana Jane and watching Michael Keaton die. The Superman's villains. All right, let's actually talk about the movie. It's been like around 10 minutes. We still haven't gotten to the movie. Jeremy, what is this movie good at that Jurassic Triangle was not good at?
Acting.
Well, yeah. You know what
Yeah,
else?
we had a decent cast.
Oh, it was an all-star cast, I think.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Anything else? Well, you could literally name everything in the world, Jeremy. I don't know why I'm playing this game with you. The movie knows when to kill a character off.
Yes, it does.
I think that's probably why reviewers hated it too, because you can kind of predict which characters are going to get killed off.
Our space Arabs.
It's space Muslims, Jeremy.
They were Arabs.
No, they followed the Muslim religion.
Well, it said Arab in mine.
They were speaking Aramaic. Stop being a bigot.
All right, fair enough.
So, speaking of them, did you recognize the main preacher, Jeremy?
I did not.
Ryan gave you a hint earlier.
Yep, nope, still don't have it.
Okay, so the main preacher, that's Keith David. You may know him as Anderson from Mass Effect.
Oh my god.
For anyone who doesn't know who Keith David is, he's got like the most iconic voice. Well, one of the most iconic voices. You know Keith David's voice when you hear him.
Yeah, well, I've watched everything from Mass Effect from my mind, so.
Yeah, Anderson's voice in Mass Effect. He voiced the villain in the Princess and the Frog. A lot of people are familiar with his voice. He does a lot of voice acting.
I think
And-
Gargoyles.
Oh yeah, that's another one I had on the list. He was Goliath in Gargoyles. I know he's voicing Darkseid in the Kite Man animated series. I thought he'd always voiced Darkseid, but apparently not. Just I guess I had my Darkseid voice mixed up.
Anything I can do to wash my mind from Mass Effect, I do.
Well, Jeremy, we got a different space adventure today.
Was it a better space adventure than Mass Effect?
It had a way better ending.
Way, way better ending.
So, speaking of the ending, I mean, we haven't even talked about the rest of the movie. Here's a little fun fact for you. Originally, Riddick was supposed to die at the end.
That would have been shitty.
Yeah, I think they changed. If I remember right, they changed it kind of last minute because they're like, hey, we could probably build a franchise out of this.
And they absolutely could have.
Well, they
I just don't
absolutely
remember
did.
the rest of the franchise. I just remember really enjoying some of them.
Let's talk about the rest of the movie. What'd you boys think about like the camera work in the movie?
I love the camera work in the movie. Like the bright colors,
Yeah,
the different the different tones. I absolutely loved it.
yeah, it was amazing. Because for anyone unaware, like the early parts of the movie, they crash landed on like a desert planet with like 3 suns, and like those 3 suns are all different colors because they're in different stages of their life. So like the screen has like a different color light depending on which sun is currently up. So it's like really yellowish orange at the beginning, and then it switches over to like a bluish white.
Yeah, I love that about the movie.
Pick a tone and stick with it. No. Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty unique to me. I'm always down for uniqueness. But this concludes my awesome point of view.
Yep, it was unique. You know what else was unique? The alien menace in this movie.
Yeah, like giant alien bats.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bats.
So I do remember scorpions or something from Riddick, but it was alien bats in this one.
So, if you're unaware, they're not named in the movie, but people have named them bioraptors or just demons.
I don't know if I name them demons, but bioraptor sounds pretty good.
Yeah, or biobats.
Yeah, I mean they were bats.
I was probably after Jurassic. Yeah, that movie was definitely after Jurassic Park.
I called my ex-girlfriend a bioraptor.
The thing about the bioraptors is they're menacing,
Yes, they are absolutely terrifying.
and they're very inconsistent on how their weakness works.
I don't think they have weakness, honestly.
Yeah, light.
Well, yeah, I guess they
Light kind
they
of
are
burned them
kind
up.
of. Yeah.
There's one
like
time
that.
they had a flashlight on the thing, and you could see it's like skin, like melting. And other times they were just like in full sunlight, or swooped in real quick, grabbed someone, and fucked off. Had no problem doing that.
They had really poor timing to land on this planet. I will say that.
I was thinking that the whole movie.
I was like, you got 3 f***ing suns, and this is the one time an eclipse is gonna happen.
Yeah. It's a planetary eclipse, by the way, people at home, if you're unaware of the movie. A giant freaking Saturn planet. And whenever I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Sitting down, hunkering down, that's probably the best strategy here. But they're like, oh no, this planet's following that planet for a really long time. And this whole thing happens like every 22 years. So yeah, they landed on the planet during the wrong
The worst
time.
possible time.
Yeah, the things, like I said, they're weak against sunlight, so they're like underground most of the time. And of course, lunar eclipse happens, they're free to rain on the surface. All like a million of them.
Also, the plot can happen.
Well, I mean, do you just want them to go fix up the plane and leave? I'm going to come out here and say the wildlife does not make sense on this planet. It's like, how are these things surviving? Do they like only eat once every 22 years? But like, I read in the original script.
I thought it too.
The what is it? The bounty hunter mercenary and then the antique collector guy were supposed to like fall underground, and they're supposed to have like a huge adventure that showed like how the life on the planet was actually functioning, but they changed.
That'd actually be really cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. They would have showed.
No, I would have loved that.
how like the wildlife actually function, but this changed the script of the movie. And the worst possible time. Remember at the end of the movie when it starts raining?
Yes.
I saw that. I was like, wow, it's raining on a desert planet. Wow. And Riddick's even points out, like, where's your god now?
You know what? There's a lot of like anti-Christian shit in this movie.
Well, first off, the space
anti-religion, I guess.
It's not really anti-religion. Because Keith David's character, he's like getting everyone like, oh, God's, or guess Allah.
Oh,
Allah's with
Allah.
us.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
And like
I am wrong about that.
Yeah, he goes over to Riddick, and Riddick's like, and he's like, pray with me. Like, praying is free. He's like I'm not gonna pray. And then he like asks him, is like, hey, do you believe in God? It's like, I was born in a trash can. Like, I grew up the most miserable existence of my life. Got thrown into Butcher Bay. My life has been one hell after another. In order for my life to be as hell as it was, a God has to exist and have it out for me.
There was a point. My favorite quote from this movie. Not to be so hateful, but Riddick actually said, "I absolutely believe in God, and I hate the motherfucker."
Yep, that quote stuck with me. That kind of butchering the whole thing, but yeah, I'm butcher baying the whole thing. Yeah, that quote's so intense. You expect like an edgy atheist, but nope, he believes in God because he's getting fucked over good.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely my favorite quote from the entire movie.
What do we think about the other characters?
I thought they were good. Even the side characters were good.
Yep.
The whole cast was really good.
Ryan, anyone stand out to you?
Jack.
Jack was the like girl disguised as a boy, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I identified her as a girl right away.
Yeah, same.
So I don't know why there was any confusion.
Bigot.
Wait, Ryan, did you not?
No, I just wanted to call you a bigot.
Oh,
It's just me. I fucking love that.
it's the
Yeah,
boy.
I think we could all absolutely recognize her as a girl immediately.
No, that's kind of the big thing. She's pretending to be a boy and then find out later that, yeah, she's a girl.
Why was she trying to identify a boy as again? I don't remember.
Don't remember either.
I don't think it was like.
Maybe a week.
I don't think it was necessary to the plot.
It doesn't really matter. Still good character.
Very good character.
Other standouts for me, the bounty hunter character. Like him and Riddick were always doing a game of cat and mouse. And he had an addiction to morphine. I really liked what they did with the morphine, where he was injecting in his eye. That was so people couldn't identify that he has like track marks. And of course, the lady captain, who did not pull
She was
the lever.
great.
Like that's how you build like a badass female character, where she's having to make tough choices. She's flawed.
Yeah, and hot as fuck. Good grief.
Think she was flawed?
Yeah.
Bigot.
Flawed and hot.
Oh, she was about to murder everyone, save her own life.
Yeah.
Until like the end of the movie, it's like, okay, I need to go back, and then you know what happens. I said Riddick was the one supposed to die at the end of the movie.
Well, good thing he didn't die because we have some unrememberable movies from him.
I remember enjoying the other one I saw. Thrown on that desert planet and the other desert planet, and I know the next movie is another desert planet. You play the video games, Butcher Bay and the Dark Athena aren't desert planets. I don't know about the second movie. I'm not very familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that at all. Chronicles of Riddick.
I'm not either.
All right, boys. What was our favorite scene?
The fight with the cop. Well, quote unquote cop.
Which fight?
The one under green light, where he says that we have one rule: we fight under the light. That was my favorite scene.
His death scene.
Yep,
that was a really good fight.
That was a really, really good fight.
They're like, he was trying to convince Riddick, like, let's kill the little girl and leave her. Riddick wasn't gonna deal with that, and even though at the end he was gonna leave everyone behind.
Yeah. he was.
A reminder.
He can find an asshole.
Remind everyone, Riddick isn't a good guy.
No, he is not a good guy. But that's what I love about this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's a horrible person, but he does do some things right in the end.
He's not gonna murder people.
Well, he did murder people. He
Well,
murdered a lot of people.
not for murder for random reason, no reason.
Right. Exactly. Like he killed with purpose.
Ryan, your favorite scene?
I guess I will have to go with the final bounty hunter fight.
Same thing with Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yep. Comeuppance. Well, were they really comeuppance?
The guy got ripped apart, so yeah, those were comeuppance. I think dying is kind of the ultimate price for comeuppances.
What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I do like the fight, and I also like the conversation that Riddick has with the Muslim preacher. But my favorite scene, it's whenever Riddick's first roaming around, sneaking around, and everyone's on edge, and one of the survivors of the crash ambushes them, and then the one guy gets killed by bioraptors first, kills the guy. I was like, I thought that was Riddick. And then it zooms out and it shows Riddick ended up sneaking into the lookout, is drinking the guy's beer.
You know what? That was a great scene. That's a strong second of mine.
Yeah. This movie,
he's just drinking in the background.
Yeah, just all cozy under the umbrella in the chair. This movie ain't afraid to use any of some humor. All right, and final thing before we pass the topic, time for some boys in action. And I better not hear I survived this movie. Well, would we? Okay, who would we consider the main character of this movie?
Vin Diesel.
Okay, okay, let's do boys in action. But you could either be Vin Diesel or you don't have to be Vin Diesel.
No, I'm a Vin Diesel, but I do not survive this movie. One of those bioraptors would have killed me. Towards the end, when he actually fights one of them, and he gets all bloody and shit like that. That would be my end.
Fair enough. Ryan, what about you?
I survive.
Okay, we'll go with that.
What about you, Cody?
I'll press X to doubt on that one. No. I probably would have died in that pod he was in. When the little tiny little asteroids hit the thing and killed the actual captain. It probably would have hit me too. Or if
no, I change it. I died when I dislocated my shoulders.
Oh, dude. Did you know that Vin Diesel actually did dislocate his shoulders for that stunt?
No shit.
Yeah, he actually did. They had to use a little bit of CGI because that's impossible it's impossible for him to escape like that. But he still dislocated his shoulders to get that scene made.
I don't know. I believe it. That's where I died. I dislocated my shoulders and I just
went into shock.
Got stranded there.
Ryan, you want to change your answer, or are you still surviving?
Nope, I'm still surviving.
Okay, I'm exited out on that one. Okay, that was the boys in action. All right, Jeremy, pass it up on to you.
Got nothing for this one.
Fair enough. Ryan, pass it up on to you.
I got nothing.
All right, we're all talked out there.
Wait, I do. Which sun would you rather live under?
Which one's the coolest?
The blue one.
Then the blue one. That, honestly, just throw me on a tropical beach planet.
You don't get a tropical beach planet. You get a desert planet with a blue and a red sun. All right, that's all I got.
All right, Jeremy, final thoughts?
Great movie. Because I don't remember anything about the second. I remember loving the third. I think it was the third.
Yeah, the one we saw in theaters was the third one.
Yeah. I remember loving that one, but yeah, great movies.
Ryan, final thoughts?
It's a great movie, and I'm very glad it spawned a successful franchise, most of which I've never heard of until this moment.
And now you got more stuff to play and watch. As for me, just definitely washed that Snow White movie out of my mouth. Really good sci-fi movie. Wish we had more stuff like this. Kind of has the same spirit as some other monster movies we'll soon get into. Kind of an underrated gem.
It really is an underrated gem.
But they don't make movies like this anymore. You dial destinies and flashes nowadays.
Cody, have you heard about the Pitch Black Snow White crossover?
Is the Huntsman Vin
Is
Diesel
Rachel Zegler fighting? Yeah. Is Rachel Zegler fighting the Huntsman?
No, Rachel Zegler was the bioraptor.
We're talking about Snow White and the Seven Samurai, not the Rachel Zegler one. All right, whatever. All right, let's scale this. So I was gonna do like some lame Star Wars scale, but that's kind of played out.
Well, there are some lame Star Wars scales.
No, like I'm tired of doing Star Wars scales. So I got very creative today. We are doing Alien Monster Movie scale.
Ooh.
So Jeremy, on a scale of Aliens, which is the second movie, to Jason X, which is the Jason in Space movie, where would you rank this movie?
The Jason Space movie. Way up there with Alien. I'll put it. You know what? I'll put it right under Aliens.
Fair enough. Whenever I was creating this scale, I had to ask myself, like, how the hell did Jason get in space? He's normally in Lake Crystal Lake. Apparently they capture him. There's like some weird seed ship stuff going on, and gets cryogenically frozen and ship him to space.
I think we're gonna need to review the movie.
It's a really bad movie. There's a reason it's the bottom of the
it's horrible. But
yeah.
I remember having a really good time watching it, though.
Tairimo Ween is coming up in another 5-6 months. Throw it in the backlog. All right, Ryan, what about you?
I put 100 bioraptors above The Sound of Music.
I'm not familiar with that movie.
I was gonna say I don't know what the fuck this sounds.
There's probably some joke here, but I don't get it. Yeah, people, it's up there with Aliens. Great movie, definitely worth the watch.
Oh, this is a fantastic movie.
All right, everyone, thank you for listening to our episode of Tairimo Boys Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us how you would survive on a desert island full of bioraptors, biobats. Don't forget to ring my fucking bell. Stay tuned for more episodes.